You alright? What's going on?
My pet rock died. Oh no! Wake up, please.
I'm sorry to hear that. How did that happen?
I was playing tag and I tripped and I was doing everything and he died. Are you laughing at me?
No, I'm just having an allergic reaction.
You're such a terrible person.
In this scene, you will have witnessed the acts of impression management and micro-expressions through Cameraman's actions. The quick change of demeanor from concern, confusion, and then contained laughter shows the process of impression management. Impression management is a method of conscious or subconscious actions a person uses to be perceived a certain way. Micro-expressions are quick yet subtle changes in a person's face that show their true feelings. The article Impression Management, How to Influence the Way Others See You by Kendra Cherry elaborates on how impression management influences what others may think. Cherry adds the words of Nicholas Ferenza, a psychologist, who says, "Being able to manage the impression you leave on others is an essential part of building trust and strengthening bonds and avoiding conflict." Character 1 uses impression management to strengthen their bond with Character 2 by changing their impression to one of concern and containing their surprise to comfort their friend. Though throughout the explanation Character 2 gives, you will be able to see Character 1's micro-expressions shown briefly exposing his true emotions. The narrowing of his eyebrows and quick smile exposes the surprise of the unreasonableness on the situation.
All right, let's do this again. Where were you November 12th at noon?
I told you, Detective. I was busy in the practice room, practicing alone.
Right. Practicing. So, what were you practicing?
I was practicing my chamber music, of course. The concert is tomorrow and all.
Are you trying to play me for a fool? I've never once in the 20 minutes I've had this job heard such a lousy excuse. Everyone knows that music students never practice, especially before a concert. Does it look like I was born yesterday? I'm gonna give you one more chance. Where were you November 12th at noon?
I'm gonna tell you the same thing I've told you and every officer before you. I was practicing. And even if I was practicing, Detective, I have no motivation to kill him. He was my friend, and there was nothing he could have done to motivate me to kill him.
Or was there? You see, you were jealous, weren't you? Last week, there were the auditions for Let It Be. You practiced for the first time in your lousy career. You wanted it, and you weren't gonna let anyone steal it from you, right? So when Thomas, your so-called best friend, took it from you, you weren't gonna let that slide. Am I making myself clear?
You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. I would never go so far for a stupid solo.
And how do you explain this? Anything you want to say for yourself?
This next skit also focuses on the two terms impression management and micro-expressions. The suspect intends to manipulate the situation through change of mannerisms to facilitate how the detective perceives him for his own benefit. Throughout the scene, the suspect's demeanor changes to make himself seem more confident, resulting in a favorable outcome, for example, innocent. Throughout the interrogation, the suspect raises their eyebrows to appear genuine while lying about where they were during the night in question. Soon he begins to realize this deceptive plan of consciously changing his facial expressions and body language is not fooling the detective. He expresses his fear once the realization hits and slightly raises his eyebrows and tenses his lower lip. In this article, How Fear Can Help You and Paralyze You by David Schneer explains fear can be mistaken for surprise, and fear is often masked with surprise. Later on, you can see his eyebrows have narrowed and his lips have pursed, showing the microexpression of anger. With anger, there is also discomfort in his face. The subject tenses his chin and also tucks his chin in once faced with the reality of being caught. Joe Navarro, a former FBI agent, says the very second there's a psychological discomfort, usually it begins to register in several areas. Navarro elaborates by explaining what those areas are. Some psychological discomfort signs are what the suspect displayed. For example, raising his eyebrows, tensing his chin, and tucking his chin. Again, impression management is either conscious or subconscious actions people use to bring about their intended perception of themselves to others. Our coworkers, strangers, and people we know alike use them every day. It serves us well to be conscious of our microexpressions.